This is annoying. This is annoying. Hey everybody.
Hello, happy Friday.
Sorry we're a little late. It's 3:05. We were having a powwow trying to discuss what we're going to talk about.
Also planning.
And also really trying really hard to open these bubbles and succeeding marginally. So anyway, before we crack into what's happening this next week, we'll have a recap of what happened this week, which wasn't much. But Carolyn, why don't you tell the good folks what happened this week?
Yes, so definitely this week we had, it was crossover week, so we had a lot of COW meetings in the House and in the Senate. A lot of bills got passed through, but some did die this week. So next week we'll wrap up the meetings in our committees and we'll have those bills crossing over from the House to the Senate.
Yeah, we'll have about a month-ish left of bills. They had thought they might do the budget this week, but it became pretty clear early on that that wasn't going to happen. We're still hoping that they might get to it in the next couple weeks, but
It seems as though they're filtering off the floor for little small group meetings, so that's sometimes promising, but sometimes not. So what do we know?
we wait. So, but we're back to committees as Carolyn said. I'm sorry, she got called Kaylin yesterday at a meeting, and I carried it over.
Right.
Carolyn, as Carolyn said, we're back to committees this week. So, Lee, why don't you tell us what's going on in the House?
So in the House, we've got two good ones coming up. We have Senate Bill 1060. That's Senator Allen's special education funding package to the tune of about $60 million. It's $5 million in the Extraordinary Special Education Needs Fund, which already exists but hasn't been well funded in a very long time. Districts can apply for a grant through that program if you have one of those very high-cost, low-incident students whose special education costs more than 3 times the state average for per pupil funding. So that's great to prop that up. And then it also increases the weight for a handful of diagnoses, including other health impairment, multiple disabilities, and then it raises the autism self-contained weight to what is currently the autism resource weight. So that'll be about $55 million in all of those changes all told. So we're really supportive of that. It's a good outcome from some summer meetings. And then the other one is Senate Bill 1234, which is the full restoration of district and charter additional assistance. So get some good ones right out the way, which is good because this means they're not in what we call the box for the budget. This means that they might actually be signed, sealed, delivered before any budget stuff happens, which would be great to know that we can count on those two things going through.
Great. So in the Senate, on Tuesday, we have Senate Education Committee in the afternoon. Got a couple of, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bills long all together. But big ones on here are, there is the House version of the non-certificated employee discipline bill that has gone through both houses. We were thinking they would get those two to match in both the House and the Senate and just send them up to the governor.
They discovered a slight technical error in the one in the Senate, so this is why they're sticking with this one.
Yeah,
I learned yesterday.
Good to know. So the House one will be the one that keeps going, so it has to get through the House, and once it gets through the House, if it's not amended, it'll go up to the governor. That would allow the state board to impose discipline on non-certificated employees who need a fingerprint clearance card but are not maintenance workers, transportation workers, or food service workers. So everybody else, though, if they need a fingerprint clearance card in your district, they would be subject to this policy. So the other one is House Bill 2448, which is a bill brought by an organization called Excel in Ed, and it basically would allow school districts to in charter schools, but for our purposes, school districts to petition the State Board of Education for relief from certain requirements in order to innovate, for lack of a better term, and then they would have to report back to the State Board how their performance had been after this innovation waiver was granted. So we're neutral on that. We'll see how it goes. 2682 is the bill that mandates instruction in the Holocaust and other historical genocides, passed out of the House unanimously. It has, I think, every member of the legislature as a co-sponsor, so we expect that it'll pass fairly easily in the Senate as well. And then the last one that is interesting is 2111, which is a grant program of $10 million for county school superintendents to pay the startup costs of resource consolidation programs. So if you wanted to, in your county, have a shared resource for, grants or purchasing or something like that, you could do that at the county level and hopefully save some money for everybody. And then there's one other one worth noting. It says unification consolidation in the title. That always gets people. It's 2109. This one though, pretty simple. It goes through all the statutes and makes all the thresholds, requirements for signatures and everything the same, so that it's uniform. It doesn't actually impact the process for unification and consolidation. So if you see that and you're worried about it, don't worry about it. We think it's probably a good thing to simplify. So that is it. That's what we're doing this week. Probably a good deal more third read and cow to come, especially if there's no budget. They'll probably want to finish clearing the decks of all the bills that are out there. And then by the end of the week, next week, we should have a really good handle on the things that are left out there we have to worry about. Of course, anything can come back at any time as a striker until everything's said and done, but for the most part, we'll have a pretty clear picture. So enjoy your weekend. Carolyn, do you have anything to say to your fans?
I just have to say, keep studying hard and stay in school, guys.
There it is, right there. All right, have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. Watch your email. Bye.
Bye.